Let's do this. Bo Dietl, great guest. Everybody loves him. Always entertaining, always provocative, always enthusiastic. And by the way, there's a tremendous podcast on the OG Podcast Network. See you here every Thursday. In fact, let's start with that right away. Here he is, our dear friend, the great Bo Dietl. And Bo, let's get right to it. Who's coming up next on the great Bo Dietl podcast?
Well, we got Anthony Scaramucci coming into the studio on Thursday morning, and we want Anthony to bring us up to date what's going on. And there's a couple of cool things that we're going to talk about. And, you know, Anthony has been quite the man. He's one of the smartest guys I ever met. We're going to be going together to the hedge fund conference in Vegas.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah, I've gone to from the beginning. I was a keynote speaker from the beginning.
Gotcha.
It has all the largest hedge funds, and I'll do another keynote speaker. And one of the issues is going to be, yesterday I was on CBS News last night. Thanks a lot there, Texas Tech. Why couldn't you beat them right away, Virginia? I had to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
And then I was on CBS TV talking about an issue that everyone has to understand. And you said, get off the computer, because you know what's happening with the computer? You go to those porno sites, and then all of a sudden you'll get an elusive email from someone who has breached into your system, and they'll say if you don't give them $2,000 in bitcoins, and they give you all the instructions, they're going to release to all your emails, all your contacts. They're going to release you on the porno site. Now, you, of course, are on the porno site, Sid.
Never.
But a guy like Bernie who's not on the porno site.
Well, you've got that wrong. You got to switch that around, Bo.
I go straight to the hooker.
All I know is that the funny thing, Margot got an email saying she's on the
God. No, we're going to be there too at the Big Salt Conference coming up in Vegas, Wisconsin. So quickly, before we get to the news of the city, Bernie and I were just going back and forth about tipping. You are a man about town, whether it's Rayo's on a Thursday night, Bo. You're acquainted with the finest eateries in New York City. You're very generous. Bernie and I have both seen that. Are you the type of guy, Bo, that unless it's a complete disaster, the waiter is guaranteed 20% from Bo Dietl?
Even if it's a disaster, they're going to get the tip. I just feel as though they're doing a service out there, and they're working for that tip. And that tip is so important to their lives. And honestly, it's not their fault if the food sucks. You know, you got to do what you got to do. When people work hard, you got to take care of them. And you know, I've always been a good tipper for the fact that I understand these people are working for a living. Some people are cheap, and they don't leave good tips.
Yeah, it's not right.
That's something that is there. You know, the other thing is that, like I just said, not to go off this right away, but the fact that people don't realize they have these things called day loggers. These guys go on, they're hackers. And if you open up an email that you don't know what it is, all you're doing is inviting them in. And then they're able to go in there. They may lay dormant for weeks, and you don't know. And then when you're doing work on your computer with account codes or security codes, they pick right up on it. Hence, my keystroke encryption company. I own a company called Keystroke Encryption, ACS. It's Advanced Cybersecurity. We own the patents for keystroke encryption, which means every time you keystroke on a device or on your computer, it's encrypted where no one can see what you're doing. So even if you get breached, you have this technology now where you can block it. It's not the total package, but it's certainly a good it's a good tool to have on any of your devices. So that's something that's important. But you want to get into about New York City? How great is Bill de Blasio? Now he's got a commission now he put together. He got rid of his guy that's heading up his public relations. Now he's going into his national thing. Is this guy kidding or what? He was just out where the UFOs are on, what is that?
New Mexico.
And he was over there. I think 3 people were there.
That's right.
Up on
I think he had 7 people. one place in Nevada, he held a rally, quote unquote rally. 7 people.
Yeah.
7 people.
But everywhere he goes, they say you suck. What are you doing? Well, you suck. I guess he's got a lot of money from his wife. Transferring money on the mental illness issues. Was that about $800 million? I'd like to know where that really finally wound up, that money. I call upon the city council to really investigate this. Is New York City so rich that they could dump away $800 million for this Fugazi mental health issue that she's doing nothing with. Again, and I'll say it right to her face. Nice lady, but she never even ran a lemonade stand. How the hell she control $1 billion?
No, it's criminal. It's that and him taking the money from the real estate developers. This guy is as crooked as they come. Yeah, I did. No, he should really be locked up. This Preet Bharara dropped the ball by not indicting this guy back 2 years ago.
Well, you want to know? I mean, look, $160 million. His other plughead lawyer. Did you see him from Brooklyn? Plughead. He had I think he went for the $299 job. It looked like someone hit him with double shotgun shells in his head. And I wondered when I ran for mayor, this guy Sedio there in Brooklyn and all this corruption there. In New York City is infested with corruption, and I tasted it when I ran for mayor of New York City. It was like a joke. I was a joke because they said we can't have Big Mouth Bo running this city because otherwise we're not going to be able to take the graft that we're taking. They didn't want to see me at all. They wanted to put Big Bird back in there so he could do what he does best.
The status quo. Listen, let me ask you, we were talking about pornography and prostitution. Are you pro-legalized prostitution, one of those guys?
Absolutely.
Yes, let's do it, right?
You know what it's all about is, look, you go for a massage, right? Yeah, she gets close to the ball bag, whatever happens, right? The point is this. The point is this something consensual? If it's consensual, what's the difference of getting your tooth filled with a cavity or, I'd rather somebody get released
drilling somebody else
and go rape rather than go out there and rape a little girl or perv on a girl. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
To me, it's not the end of the world. What they could do is they could put a condominium on them, and they could use some sort of health concerns. But what is the big deal? Let's get rid of the perverts' pressure in their brain power, so they don't go on subways and start exposing themselves and rubbing themselves next to people. As long as you do it consensually, you're not harming anyone.
Right.
Big deal. Look at my man Paul Kraft. Thank God he's 78 years old. I think he did it twice in one day. God bless him.
He did. That's
God bless him, man. God bless him.
Great refractory period on Mr. Kraft. Of course, those pills help a lot. You know that, right, Paul?
Well, you want to know something. Pills are fine. Everything is fine. But the most important thing is you should be able to do what you want with your life. And
it's America.
No one should tell you what to do. And all the liberal penis lickers there should like that, too.
Yeah. Well, help him. Hey, Bo.
Oh, that's great.
Great as always. Listen, the OG Podcast Network, Bo Dietl's One Tough, what's it called? One Tough?
One Tough Podcast.
One Tough Podcast. That's right. Okay, forgive me. It's not written down here.
We're working out in a great studio there at ABC. I'm excited about it. I want you guys to come on my podcast, too.
No, we're definitely going to come on, Bo. Thank you. Another tremendous appearance. And again, on this Bo Dietl's podcast this week, the always great Anthony Scaramucci, who, of course, joins Bernie and I tomorrow and each and every Wednesday right here on this show. Bo and Anthony, great together.